Hey y'all. So this is going to be my second video. What was supposed to just be a short intro video. Um, so I think I left off talking about my relationship with a young lady who shall remain nameless. Um, but so I believe I was talking about how she and I just had a horrible relationship, and and mutually just awful. I was absolutely vicious and terrible, and just nasty to her, and she was vicious and nasty and terrible to me, um, and so mutually abusive in some ways, not necessarily physically, although she did. She's 90 pounds wet, and I was at least 200 pounds at the time, and a little bit more muscular and stuff. So not like it really hurt a whole lot, but she would punch me in the face and kick me and claw and bite and all this. Um, and so, I mean, it was just a horrible experience. Um, and but I decided to live with her. I decided to just stay with her, and I actually almost married her. And so that was a very stupid thing to do, to uh, to propose to her. But thankfully, I did have some really wonderful friends in what's called the CMA, the Christian Motorcyclist Association. So not endorsing them, not endorsing CMA, just only because I, I honestly, it's almost been 10 years since I've really been part of the organization. So there could be something that I'm just not aware of that people would point to say, well, I don't know if if they're really following the Lord as an organization. Um, but I will endorse the people from there. I will absolutely say the people that I met, and the people that were in the group with me were just absolutely wonderful people and authentically living their life for God. Um, and so there's this great story I love to tell. So and it has to do with this getting out of this relationship, right? So we were at a Father's Day meet, something at a church, and I don't remember exactly why we were there. Maybe just helping park cars or something. And then we were praying over people's bikes and blessing them and stuff. And then the president of the chapter at the time, says to me, "Well, after we do this, we're gonna actually have a little meeting for the group, and you need to be there." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And little did I know, I walk in after everything's done, and there's chairs set up in a circle, and it's some ornery biker dudes, some tough looking dudes, and um, specifically my friend Christian, who was he's bald head. I mean, 350 pounds. I mean, big muscular dude, and he had a past back in the one percenter world a little bit. I mean, he would never harm me or anything, but it was like he's standing there by the doors, like, "You ain't leaving," and I'm going, "Oh shoot, there's something going on." So they start out and they say, "Okay, lug nut," and that's what they called me. And it's, all right, lug nut. So you last time, or we talked to you today, asked you how you're doing, seemed kind of down. You said, "Oh, I'm just tired." And the time before that, you said, "Oh, I'm just tired." And the time before that, same thing. I don't think you're tired. What's going on? I don't think you're just tired. Um, and so I mean, it's amazing how we think that we are like fooling people. It's crazy how we think that we're getting away with being depressed, and some people aren't going to notice. People, I mean, but they noticed. And it was wonderful. And so just all these just awesome men who they're all older than me, but they just everyone there just start talking about their marriages and their first marriages, how they were horrible, or how their current marriages are wonderful, I remember them saying that if you're not like looking down the aisle at that woman walking up to you on your wedding day, if you're not thinking, man, she's the most beautiful, amazing woman on the planet, um, then something's wrong. They told me about, because man, my first wife, the whole time I saw her, she was walking up the whole time. I'm thinking, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. Um, and that had an impact on me, and that was one of the things that took place that really helped. And so it's good to tell. I love to tell that story because um, it's important to share that and to just explain to people that if you have people that will do something like that, like, yes, sometimes there are people who are just being buttholes. There are people that will tell you stuff that you don't want to hear, that um, or you may not want to hear at the time, and like they will tell you stuff that it kind of stinks to hear, and they're just being jerks, just for the sake of being jerks. But there's also people that are saying something and they're wrong, but they genuinely love you, and they're saying it because they're like, well, I really feel like I need to tell you this in a loving, like, I know you're gonna be mad at me, but lovingly I gotta tell you the truth. And it's the truth as they see it, but sometimes they kind of have their facts a little messed up, but they love you, right? And then there's sometimes when absolutely they know exactly what they're talking about, and you should listen. So yeah, sometimes people are butts, and sometimes they're wrong, but they still love you, and then sometimes they love you, and they absolutely are right. And in this case, they were absolutely right. Um, so then, fast forward a little bit from that little meeting, yeah, come to Jesus meeting, um, and I end up. So I moved out of the apartment that me and this girl were living in together, and we had kind of, I mean, we were young and stupid, and she would like come over and we do what stupid young people do. I'm probably mentioned we were living together before. We were doing what people who are living together do, and so we would fool around with that kind of stuff again. And she happened to break down in my parking lot at the apartment that I was living in and stuff, and so it was it was just really stupid. But we were playing around with the idea of getting back together, and then um, finally in the middle of the night on New Year's Day, it was like 12:03 or something. I mean, literally, it was right after the ball dropped, and I got a call from her that said she had found a new victim. I mean boyfriend. She found a new guy, and I was like, okay, bye. Um, but then I got as I'm getting off the phone with her, I had this just ridiculous, crushing, hurting feeling like, oh my gosh, it's really over. It's really done. Like this thing that I wanted to end. Pretty much the entire time I was dating this girl, I wanted the relationship to be over the whole time, and I couldn't make any sense of it, at all. But that that's when I found myself just on the floor and just weeping and crying and like crying out to the Lord, and I begin like speaking a question, and then he answers, and like I speak out the answers, like, why do I feel, I feel alone. I don't want to feel alone. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I feel worthless. I feel like I'm afraid of never feeling okay. Like I've been depending on her to complete me, as if that's gonna fix things. If you saw my first video, like all that abuse and neglect and going without and hunger and all that fear and doubt and anxiety and stuff, like that'll all be solved somehow. I'll solve it myself. I'll figure out a way to solve it myself by getting together with this girl, and then like this family will be perfect because I'm in control now. Great, yeah, yeah. I'm sure you're watching this going like, yeah, how did that work out for you? Well, I'm telling you, not good. But I mean, I literally was on the ground just crying out and just praying to God, and this like prophetic way of praying. Like I begin asking God a question, He just literally like just takes over and takes over my lips and my tongue, and just, this is what's going on, Aaron. You don't want to give me the reins of your life, and you need to give me the reins of your life. And I felt His presence, almost, I mean, just a physical hug, like my son wakes up in the middle of the night and will cry, and I'll just pick him up and just hold him there, and just play with his hair or something, or and just, and it was like that with God. He was that real. His presence was that real in that room. And so anyway, so I'd like to pretend like I did everything right since then, right? But that's me coming to the Lord. And then there's probably gonna be another video I'm gonna post up here shortly, continuing the story and just talking about this, just how awesome God has been in my life. And they've talked a little bit about where He's brought me in ministry and stuff too. So